Hi friends, welcome to Talevora. Today, we uncover the extraordinary life of Grigori Rasputin, the man many believed simply refused to die. Was he a holy healer, a dangerous manipulator, or one of history's greatest mysteries? The year was 1869. Deep inside the frozen lands of Siberia, in a small village called Pokrovskoye, a boy was born who would one day become one of the most mysterious men in history. His name was Grigori Rasputin. No one in the village could have imagined that this poor farmer's son would one day walk through the grand halls of the Russian Imperial Palace, influence the most powerful royal family in Europe, and leave behind a mystery that people are still trying to solve more than a century later. But who was Rasputin really? Was he a holy man chosen by God, a gifted healer with extraordinary abilities, a dangerous manipulator who fooled an entire empire, or was he simply a victim of history's greatest myths? To understand the truth, we have to travel back to the beginning. Rasputin was born into a simple peasant family. Life in Siberia was harsh. Winters were brutally cold. Food was scarce, and survival depended on hard work. Unlike most children, many villagers claimed he was unusually quiet. Others believed he possessed an extraordinary ability to understand people without them speaking. Some even whispered that the young boy had mysterious spiritual gifts. As he grew older, Rasputin gained a reputation for being wild and rebellious. He spent much of his youth drinking, fighting, and causing trouble. He was far from the image of a saint. Then, everything changed. In his late 20s, Rasputin experienced what he described as a powerful spiritual awakening. He claimed that a mysterious vision completely transformed his life. Whether that vision truly happened or not, it changed his future forever. He left his village and began traveling across Russia as a wandering pilgrim, visiting monasteries, churches, and remote holy places in search of spiritual meaning. During these journeys, Rasputin developed a unique way of speaking. He wasn't highly educated, yet people listened to him with complete attention. His calm voice, piercing eyes, and mysterious personality left a powerful impression wherever he went. Some believed he possessed divine wisdom. Others thought he was nothing more than a clever fraud. As the years passed, stories about this mysterious holy man spread across Russia. People claimed he could comfort the sick. Some believed he could predict future events. Others insisted that simply being in his presence brought them peace. Were these miracles real, or were they simply the power of faith and human belief? No one knew for certain. But one thing was becoming clear. Grigori Rasputin was no longer an ordinary traveler. His name was beginning to reach the highest levels of Russian society. Far away, in the magnificent city of St. Petersburg, the Russian royal family was facing a desperate crisis, a crisis that would soon bring the mysterious Rasputin directly into the heart of the Russian Empire. From that moment on, history would. Thousands of kilometers away, in the magnificent city of St. Petersburg, the Russian Empire stood as one of the most powerful nations in the world. At its center ruled Tsar Nicholas II and his wife Tsarina Alexandra. From the outside, the royal family appeared to have everything: unlimited wealth, magnificent palaces, loyal servants, and absolute power. But behind the palace walls, they were hiding a heartbreaking secret. Their only son and heir to the Russian throne, Prince Alexei, suffered from a rare and deadly disease known as hemophilia. Even the smallest injury could cause unstoppable bleeding. Doctors across Europe tried everything they knew, but nothing seemed to help. Every time Alexei became sick, the royal family feared they might lose him forever. The Tsarina was desperate. She prayed day and night, searching for anyone who could save her son. Then one day, she heard whispers about a mysterious holy man from Siberia. His name was Grigori R. Some believed he had been blessed with miraculous healing powers. Others dismissed him as a wandering fraud fraud. Desperation left the royal family with only one choice. They invited Rasputin to the Imperial Palace. When Rasputin first entered the palace, no one expected a simple peasant from Siberia to change the future of the Russian Empire. He wasn't dressed like a nobleman. He wasn't educated like the royal advisors, yet there was something unusual about him. His calm voice, deep stare, and quiet confidence immediately caught everyone's attention. Then came the moment that changed everything. Prince Alexei suddenly became seriously ill. The doctors believed there was little hope. The palace was filled with fear. According to several historical accounts, Rasputin entered the boy's room, asked everyone to remain calm, prayed quietly, and told the family that the young prince would recover. Hours later, Alexei's condition began to improve. To the royal family, it seemed nothing short of a miracle. Was Rasputin truly gifted with extraordinary healing abilities, or was it simply a coincidence that history later turned into legend? Historians still debate the answer. Some believe Rasputin's calm presence helped reduce the family's panic, which may have indirectly helped Alexei recover. Others believe he convinced the doctors to stop giving certain medicines that unknowingly made the prince's bleeding worse. Whatever the truth may be, one fact is undeniable. From that day forward, Tsarina Alexandra trusted Rasputin completely. She believed God had sent him to protect her son. Soon, Rasputin became one of the most influential men inside the Russian palace. The royal family sought his advice on important decisions. His words carried enormous weight, but outside the palace, people saw a very different picture. Rumors began spreading across Russia. Some claimed Rasputin controlled the royal family. Others accused him of corruption, manipulation, and living a secret life filled with scandal. Newspapers mocked him. Noble families despised him. Government officials wanted him removed from the palace forever. The mysterious monk who had once wandered through Siberia was now standing at the center of the most powerful empire in Europe. And without realizing it, Grigori Rasputin had begun making enemies far more dangerous than he could ever imagine. As Rasputin's influence inside the royal palace continued to grow, so did the hatred against him. Many members of Russia's nobility believed that an uneducated peasant had no place advising the emperor and empress. Military officers distrusted him. Government ministers feared him. Religious leaders questioned his reputation, and newspapers filled the country with shocking stories about the mysterious man from Siberia. Some reports described him as a holy healer. Others called him a dangerous fraud. Rumors spread that Rasputin secretly controlled Tsar Nicholas II and made important political decisions behind the scenes. Whether these stories were true or wildly exaggerated, no one could say for certain, but public anger was growing. Then came the First World War. Russia entered one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. Millions of soldiers were sent to the battlefield. Thousands died every single day. The country began collapsing under. Food became scarce. Prices rose. People were hungry. Factories shut down. Across Russia, frustration turned into rage. At the same time, Tsar Nicholas II left the capital to personally lead the Russian army. This decision left Tsarina Alexandra in charge of many government affairs, and because Alexandra trusted Rasputin more than anyone else, his influence became greater than ever before. Many officials believed Rasputin was now helping decide who would receive powerful government positions. Every political appointment made his enemies even more determined to destroy him. Soon, powerful aristocrats began meeting in secret. They believed that if Rasputin remained alive, the Russian Empire itself would fall. One name stood out among the conspirators: Prince Felix Yusupov, one of the richest and most powerful nobleman in Russia. Together with several influential allies, he formed a dangerous plan. Their mission was simple: kill Grigori Rasputin. But it would not be easy. Rasputin had survived countless threats before. Some people even believed he was protected by divine powers. Others whispered that he simply could not be killed. Ignoring the growing danger around him, Rasputin continued living as usual. He visited the palace. He advised the royal family. He prayed with those who believed in him. Yet deep inside, he seemed to sense that something terrible was approaching. According to several historical accounts, Rasputin once warned the Tsar that if he were murdered by members of the Russian nobility, the royal family would not survive for long. At the time, very few people took his warning seriously, but history would later remember those words, because on a freezing winter night, in December 1916, Rasputin received an invitation that would change everything. He believed he was visiting friends. Instead, he was walking direct. On the night of December 30th, 1916, Grigori Rasputin arrived at the magnificent Moika Palace in St. Petersburg. Prince Felix Yusupov personally welcomed him inside. The palace was quiet, too quiet. Rasputin had no idea that several powerful men were hiding upstairs, waiting for the moment they believed would save the Russian Empire. The plan was carefully prepared. According to the most famous version of the story, Rasputin was offered cakes and sweet wine that had been poisoned with cyanide. The conspirators were certain no human being could survive such a deadly poison. They waited. Minutes passed, then another hour, but something unbelievable happened. Rasputin showed no signs of dying. Whether this part of the story is completely true remains a subject of debate among historians. Some modern researchers believe the poison may never have been used at all. Others believe the amount was too small to be effective. Whatever the truth, the conspirators believed their plan had failed. Panic began to spread. Prince Yusupov made a desperate decision. He picked up a revolver and fired directly at Rasputin. The mysterious monk collapsed onto the floor. The conspirators believed it was over. Slowly, they walked upstairs, convinced that Grigori Rasputin was finally dead. But when Yusupov returned to check the body, something happened that would become one of history's most famous legends. According to his own account, Rasputin suddenly opened his eyes. He struggled to his feet. Then, despite his injuries, he staggered toward the courtyard, desperately trying to escape into the freezing night. Terrified, the conspirators chased after him. More gunshots echoed through the silent streets. This time, Rasputin finally fell into the snow. To make absolutely certain he was dead, his body was wrapped and secretly thrown into the icy Neva River. The entire Russian Empire was shocked. Almost immediately, extraordinary stories began spreading across the country. Some claimed Rasputin had survived poison. Others insisted he survived multiple gunshots. One of the most famous legends even claimed that he was still alive when he entered the freezing river. Modern forensic historians continue to debate these stories. Some evidence suggests several details were exaggerated over time. Others remain impossible to verify with complete certainty. What is certain, however, is that Rasputin's death did not save the Russian Empire. Only a few months later, the Russian Revolution erupted. Tsar Nicholas II was forced to give up the throne. Soon after, the entire Romanov royal family was executed. The empire Rasputin had been accused of destroying disappeared forever. More than 100 years later, Grigori Rasputin remains one of history's most mysterious figures. Was he a miracle worker, a brilliant manipulator, or simply a man whose legend became far greater than the truth? Perhaps the real mystery was never how Rasputin lived, but why the world still cannot stop talking about him. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Talevora, and join us as we uncover more forgotten stories, legendary figures, and unsolved mysteries from around the world. Until next time, keep exploring the stories stories history never forgot.